Alright, I'm all packed up and ready to go for a ride. Doing another solo camping trip, this time to Bracy Pond, which is kind of close to Crystal Pond, where I've camped at before. Just doing a quick walk around and checking my straps. I had a strap get caught in the rear wheel once and get ripped right off my bag, so I'm a little more diligent now in making sure that all the straps are up high enough so they don't get caught. And we're off to a rough start. Looks like I should have cleaned my lens a little bit better before I left. But nothing I can do about it now. And I'll skip ahead. This is the Stud Mill Road, which you've seen before. Basically a highway out in the middle of nowhere. This is a turnoff on the way to Bracy Pond. And it's not too far down this road. The map shows there being campsites here, so we'll check it out. And there's the pond right through the trees there. But I don't see any campsites. I did end up traveling this road a couple of different times, turning around and checking out some of these little offshoots to try and find campsites, but I could not find any. And off to the right, there are a couple signs that say no camping or no unauthorized camping and no unauthorized fires. So I'm not too crazy about staying there. This is one offshoot that looks promising, but it's quite a ways past the pond, so I don't think that's it. Turned around and I'm heading back. And I see this road, so I decide to check it out. This is on kind of the north end of the pond, so I'm wondering if it has some campsites on it, or circles around, or what it does. And at this point, I decide to turn around, not really finding anything that looks promising. There's another path that I'm interested in, but I'm not sure I want to take the bike down it. I just wasn't feeling too adventurous today. Thought I'd play it safe and just take a little walk. Especially where the bike is fully loaded, I don't want to get into any issues where I have to turn around in a tight spot, so just decided to walk it. And not too far down the path, I see a blowdown completely blocking the path. There's no way around it. And I'm not about to get my saw out and cut that thing up, so that was a no-go. So after turning around and around 2 or 3 times, trying to find a campsite near Bracy Pond, I just decided to head towards Crystal Pond and see if I can find any other campsites around there. The road that heads up there is just a little ways down here. So, fairly close to where I was already. And I didn't make it as far as Crystal Pond. There was just a short way down this road, campground. So I decided to pull in there. I spy one of the campsites through the trees there, so it looks interesting, and I decide to turn around once again, go back, and check out these campsites. These seem like pretty sweet sites. There's one right here, right on the water, the great view. They've got outhouses, and the sites are numbered. I'm not quite sure what kind of campground this is, if you're supposed to pay to stay here, or if it's free for anybody, or if it's closed this time of year. I'm really not sure. I'm just kind of scouting it out right now. Looks like I'm heading away from the campsites now, so once again I decide to turn around and head back. Saw someone in a side-by-side up here, so I decide to ask them if they know whether or not it'd be okay to camp here.
How you folks doing? How you doing? Good. Looking for a place to camp tonight. Do you know if this place is open? Okay. Probably no one to bug me, huh?
I doubt it.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, no.
Have a good one.
And they didn't seem to think it would be a problem to stay here, so I decide to pull in, find a spot that I like, and decide whether I'm going to stay here or move on. I looked around quite a bit and didn't seem to be too much traffic around this area. Real nice spot, and as long as I had the place to myself, I was happy, so I did decide to stay. The place is called Deer Lake Campground. So not much to do but set up camp. So on my travels around the campground, looking for firewood, I discover a beaver has been around and has taken down a number of these birch trees, and they are pretty well delimbed. Looks like it was fairly recent, so I think this wood is probably still green, but I did end up taking it, and I figured it would burn once I got some good coals going. So I just wanted it just in case I needed it. So I did take that one. And there were a couple more that looked like he was able to haul off. Yeah, it's about time to get a fire started, so this time, instead of really cheating with the lighter fluid, I decided I would try and do it the hard way. And I start by making some shavings. As I'm doing this, I'm discovering it's kind of wet even deep down into this stick, so I don't really think it's going to work too well. I did bring some kindling of my own, some nice dry stuff, just in case I needed it. So I went and got a piece and started making shavings from that. Now I'm splitting up that piece of kindling. I tried to use one stick that was at the fire pit for a baton against the knife, but it kind of exploded on me because it was really rotten. But I was able to get it split up. And put a couple pieces of nice dry stuff on there so I can get it lit. And through the magic of editing, I make this look easy, but I did end up fighting with the lighter quite a bit. Definitely not at the point where I could use a fire stick or a flint or anything like that, but just a lighter isn't too bad, I guess. And then just add bigger stuff. So it's 4:38. Sun is pretty much set at this point. Fire's going pretty good, so I am pretty warm. Temperature isn't that cold right now. It's about 42, according to my thermometer. I was hoping for a real beautiful sunset, but didn't really happen. It's pretty mediocre. We'll see if I can get something on the camera. I want this zip up. Probably because I got it at Walmart. No, seriously, it won't zip up. And it's totally because I got it at Walmart. That's not going to help. I should not have unzipped that. Oh, there we go. Hey, Beaver. Yep, and Mr. Beaver came back for his sticks. But little did he know I had already taken them and burned them. I'm gonna guess he wasn't too happy when he found out. This is the next morning. It was a little frosty. Definitely below freezing, so I decided to start another fire. fire had gone completely cold. There was no coals left at all for me to fan. Had to start from scratch. And there's fire number 2. My tent poles were actually frozen together, so I couldn't break them down. I had to lay them over the fire for just a second so they would heat up and melt off so I could get them broken down. And that's about it. I'm ready to head out now. Got my campsite all picked up, got the bike warming up. It's pretty chilly and my camera lens hasn't gotten any cleaner. And we're off to a rough start once again. And this is a pretty good representation of my view out of my visor. I had some wax that I put on the visor to keep it from fogging up, and as soon as I put that on it froze white, so that wasn't very good. I couldn't hardly see anything. Got that wiped off, but still had issues with it fogging up and frosting actually. After it would fog up it would freeze. So kind of a half-blind ride home. And back on the Studmill Road, heading out. And that is just about it for this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you next time.